Hey guys, like I said yesterday on my Russia video, I'm going to try to get a set of painted minis every day this week. So the Big E asked, hey, why don't we do America next? So I have no particular order, so America it is. So just like the other one, we have the inlaid a hat pin, just like on the Soviet one, in addition to just a lapel pin. I thought that was pretty cool to add on there. Like I said, I just like these inlays on here. Really think it makes the lid just pop, right? So just like the Soviet one, we have the setup charts for this one's for Pacific Europe, Europe 40, and all right, yeah, Pacific Europe, Global 40, Global 42. So there's a lot going on here in these charts, but just like the other one though, you have the columns. It's great. Um, and I know I mentioned this on a different video, but in case you missed that one, I know that the aircraft carrier is a CV, and I know all these abbreviations, right? But not everyone does, and I don't expect someone to come over my house and I pass this to them and say, hey, set up, and then they're like, hey, what's a CV? I don't want to have to explain that every time that somebody who doesn't know the terminology or the abbreviations of these units for real life scenarios. This is a game, right? And I want them to set up the game. I don't want to be explaining to them what a correct abbreviation would be. So, just in case you're wondering why I didn't, that is the reason why. So, that's it. Now, unlike yesterday, where I was pulling the units, I thought it was easier for me to I just pulled some units out and put them aside. That way, I don't have to sit here and shuffle through the box the whole time. Okay, so we'll just put that aside. The one thing I really liked on the Americas was I really liked the strategic bombers. I mean, they're such a good piece to paint. They were big enough where you can actually put some details into them. I added the flap details. Just a little bit of detailing. I added a lot to these pieces. I really like them, and just like on the Soviet ones, we have different variants. Now, remember I was saying yesterday too on the Soviets, everybody can't be green. Well, that's why we have to go to a theme, right? And if you'll see this theme in green, but you can compare it to the Soviet one, and you can really tell the difference. I think those are the really only two that are green, and then of course, Italy that is kind of a brownish color, and then you have UK that's kind of a brownish color. But those are totally different as well. Yeah. It took me 5 times to mix this color correctly, but I really like to do was this navy, the navy plain blue. I mean, I really like how these navy planes came out. I mean, I love them. I mean, just that color. I said took me like 5 times, and I finally got it, and I think it looks great. And if you'll notice too, when I do have multiple units, their numbers will always be different. Tail numbers will be different. The wing numbers will be different. And of course, we got the lightning, since that's what's on my custom cache. This is what's on the 5. Now, at first I didn't like this plane. I really didn't like it on the board. I just really didn't feel like, it just wasn't what I like. So I actually ordered some other ones from Historical Board Gaming, and it's funny because now I like that one better. I was kind of maybe just not disappointed in the quality of the piece that I ordered, but I was disappointed in the size of the piece. I mean, it's really, really tiny. And comparing the two units. I mean, this fighter it's just way easier to pick up and move around, and plus spot. This is a little small. We still use them, but yeah, if I'm playing America, I generally don't get these out. I just leave them in the container. But I did do of course that's the Navy one. Then we go to the other one here, and it wasn't easy, but we put that mouth on there, right? Wasn't easy. But this is the reason I like this piece, only because I got that mouth on there. And I did it also on the Flying Tiger ones for. I used one of these for China for the Flying Tigers, and it has the mouth on there and stuff. Sorry, like yesterday, it's just hard for me to hold these. I'm not really sure a better way to do it. Get some tweezers or something, but then we'll be sitting here forever. And just a couple more tack. You know, it was weird when the Navy ones had numbers on them, but the Army ones didn't. As far as my research go, I couldn't find any numbers on them. It's just they had the insignia only on one wing. Now, generally, I don't like mixing colors on countries. You know, like I when I get to Germany, I'll go over it more. But Germany had like an Africa Corps, and it had like the regular army, and it would get confusing. Not to me because I painted them, but other players would, you know, kind of get the, if I had Africa Corps in Africa, they would end up being moved on Italy's turn and stuff like that. So I actually had to remove those units out of game, which is unfortunate because I really like them. I'll still go over it too when I get to Germany and a little bit more. But so generally, I don't like to mix color units, but in this color palette, you'll see when we start getting on, this color palette works. I mean, there's no other unit this color in the game that I painted, so it actually works out. Plus, they're very well marked. I mean, there's a big America star on there, right? And then on the tanks, I did replace all the tanks that came with the game. First off, I replaced all the Shermans, just because, you know, there's just the quality. I mean, look at the wheels, it's just the detail in these have so much more to them. And these are so cheap. I mean, you can order a grip of stuff from Historical Board Gaming for like dollars. So if you're gonna spend your time painting, I suggest you paint units that have more detail. And you can see the weathering on the tracks. It's funny, I actually bought an airbrush just so I can spray that, you know, a little tiny micro airbrush, so I can spray dust on my vehicles and where I was at the store getting it, and my girlfriend was with me, and she's like, "Are you seriously spending $100 so you can spray paint, or, you know, spray dust on your little vehicles?" And I said, "Yep." Also added, I have a couple of Hellcats in my arsenal in there, but look at those wheels. I mean, those wheels just pop. You know, and you get the dark stain in there, and then you know, spray the dust. It's just a very just a very good quality piece. I mean, these pieces are exceptional quality as far as detail goes. Like I said, in there, like pennies, you know. And one of my really favorite tanks is this little Stuart. I love these little ones, man. These little ones are great. I actually used a couple of these for my French. I forgot about that yesterday when I said I just used French units. I know that they had, you know, Vive la France ones or whatever, so they're painted up in French. I really like the details in those. And then also, I replaced the mechanized infantry with these Mack trucks. I really dig these Mack trucks. These are great. I mean, we even got tail lights going on back there, right? Of course, you know, all of them have the, come on, baby, zoom in, or there we go. I like all of them have that star. You know, all the American ground units have that. It's great. I see this video is getting kind of long, so we're gonna speed it up. I don't want to have you guys sit here for 10 minutes each of these videos. And then just a couple different variations. You can see a little bit of dust on there, but you know, the tarps are different colors on top of the canvas. And then just really quick, the artillery. Remember I said these are the only artilleries that I did mark in that. It's just in game, there it goes. You know, it really was pointless. Plus it wasn't really historically accurate to have insignias on all the artillery, so I just didn't really like it anyways. And then just quick AA. I said it was just pretty much paint and dips. Now, I did try to get more mechanized infantry. I wanted a different variant, and they sent me these scout cars on accident. These greyhounds, and I did paint them, and they were in game for a while, but players would get them confused. Or is it a tank? Is it a mech? You know, and then my rule is pretty much if it has a cannon, it's a tank. That way, it's easier to tell. And then so it's just these units just didn't work out for me, even though they were all painted up. I had to get rid of the fleet, so I got like 10 of these painted, but they are no longer in use in the game. But I just thought I'd show you anyways, just because it was a unit once upon a time. And really quick, the ships, like I mentioned yesterday, you know, they're all gray. You know, every country's ships are gray. I just try to do different shades of the decking. You know, so America, I used a darker gray along with a darker top coat for the brown for the decks. You know, you'll notice. Remember, the Russian ones are pretty light, and they were a light gray. And the same thing too, just like yesterday. You know, they're all numbered, and of course they all have different numbers, which was another pain, trying to get different numbers on everything. I do like the American cruiser. Yeah, it has a really nice big deck. You know, you can really tell that, hey, this is a bombardment ship, and hey, this is the cruiser. You know, you can really tell with, across the board. You know, even just, I'm sure looking at the camera right now, you can just easily see, oh, that one's the, even if you didn't know the units by sight, you would just know, hey, oh yeah, that's a cruiser. It's got a really nice big deck on it. And actually, my favorite subs were the ones that came with Anzac, because the conning tower was so big on that. I mean, that was such a beautiful piece. I was actually able to get the numbers on the conning tower, so I was super stoked about that. All of the Anzac units, actually. I think the Anzac units and the I got a little bit of weathering down there, just a little bit of rust. But the Anzac units and the Italy units, in my opinion, were the best units that came with the game, as far as not having to really change anything. The sculpts were great. Now for the infantry here, we chose just the green base. I guess all the bases in the different units are different colors. And I did do a couple different variations on, like this one. He's got the helmet. He's a lieutenant, of course. Can't really. There it is, kind of picking it up. As I said, just a few different things here and there. This one's got the markings on the back of his helmet as well. Just just for fun, just to add a touch. You're sitting there painting 50 guys all the same. It's like, hey, let's do a couple different things on them. This one's got he's got the medic helmet. I was gonna do something to introduce medics into the game. Maybe something like where if there was a medic in that area, maybe he can revive, basically revive one of the guys, let them roll one more time. But the more people I meet, the more people I play with, the more I realize people don't like house rules. People just want to play the game. He's got a shoulder patch. People just generally do not like house rules, right? I mean, really, they just don't. I mean, nobody wants to play house rules. Everybody wants to play. Look, it's not in the book, so I don't want to play that way, and that's fine. Doesn't bother me at all. So anyway, so this is America. I didn't mean this video to be so long, but hey, so we'll do another one tomorrow, and that's it, guys. Take care, and thanks so much.